What up, everybody in the YTBC? So, before I get started, just want everybody to know that this video is not going to be about any one particular topic. There's a couple different things that I want to touch on, and don't really have a whole lot of time, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. So, the first thing I want to touch on is just a little follow-up to the video I did earlier today. Nordic Warrior left a comment. If you don't know who Nordic Warrior is, he's also Brendan Keeler, but basically he kind of brought up a really good point about this Triple G versus Kell Brook fight, and he was saying that, you know, that this could be a big lead up to Triple G versus Billy Joe Saunders, which is ultimately the fight that I would like to see, because that's the last piece of the puzzle. Whoever wins that fight becomes undisputed champion, undisputed middleweight champion of the world, and I mean, it would be history in the making, in a sense. So, you know, given that fact that, you know, being that Kell Brook is from the UK, and I mean, this doesn't change the fact that I still don't like this fight. It does make it a bit more intriguing, because especially if Kell Brook can put up a good fight, which I think he could. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Kell Brook is just gonna get annihilated, but I don't see any way that he's gonna beat Triple G. That part has not changed. But if he can put up somewhat of a good fight, it could cause the UK fans to want Billy Joe Saunders to avenge that loss for the UK. Because we all know that the UK is very good at standing behind their boxers. And they are some of the best boxing fans in the world, in my opinion. So, that being said, you know, it makes the fight a little bit more intriguing. Now, I'm not defending the fight. Not at all. I mean, to me, this is just more diversion from the things that actually need to happen. But, I mean, big shout out to Nordic Warrior. That is actually a very good point. If you haven't checked out Nordic Warrior, please check him out. He's a great channel. And he knows what he's talking about. He knows his boxing. So he's one of those channels that I really do appreciate, and I really do I just appreciate his content. Let's leave it at that. He's a genuine guy who knows what he's talking about, and I appreciate his content. Speaking of members in YouTube that I appreciate their content, just want to mention Precise Percenter just real quick. Now, when it comes to Precise Presenter, I don't agree with everything that he says, and that's fine. We're both grown men, and I mean, I'm grown to the point where I know that people are going to see things differently. And to be honest, I learn a lot when I watch Precise Presenter's videos. All right. Now, there's, you know, I know he's controversial, and I know that, you know, a lot of people have accused him of being racist. I personally don't think he is racist. I think he's one of those, you know, he's taken a certain stance, and he's been labeled a racist because of that stance. Now, that being said, I just feel I have to address this. He made a comment on my video earlier today saying no grown man should bitch this much, and he was referring to me. Now, the bottom line is, this is my channel. I'm going to talk about what I want, and my videos are a reflection of how I feel at that particular time. How I feel may change. It could change throughout the day. It could change throughout the week. It could change throughout the month. It could change throughout the year. Or it may remain the same. All right? But my videos are my views. And I think I've made it very clear. And Precise Presenter, you've even told me that you appreciate that I do that. That I let you know what kind of perspective you're going to get. So, that being said, I'm not really doing anything any different than you or anybody else on YouTube. So I've said this in a couple comments, but I'm going to make this statement on this video. All right. If giving my take and my opinion on my own channel is counted as bitching, then I'm guilty as charged, and I give no apologies for it. I will continue to do so, because I don't expect anybody else to do anything with their channel other than talk about what they want to. When people start talking about other subjects that are not boxing, I actually don't tell them to keep it boxing unless I'm just joking. Sometimes I'll joke and say, hey, keep it boxing, and then I'll let them know, oh, just kidding, you know, good video, whatever. Because the bottom line is, what you discuss on your channel and what I discuss on my channel and what other people discuss on their channels is really all up to us. Now, if you don't like my opinion or you disagree with it, that's fine. But I do feel that it's a bit unfair to call it bitching when you do the same thing. Now, I'll give it to you, you do it better. And I'm not talking about bitching. I'm not trying to take a cheap shot at you. I'm not saying that you bitch better than I do. I literally think that you put your information together better. And you are very good at doing the research. So I'm legitimately saying, Precise, that you do it better. All right? I'm not taking that away from you. But with the information that you give, you are also giving your take. You are also giving your opinion. And it's really not anything different from what I do. All right? When I can, I try to put in the research. But like I said, I work full time. And this is a hobby that I do on the side. I don't make money off of YouTube. So you have to forgive me if I don't go the extra mile to do some extra research. I try, I really do, but sometimes I'm just giving my take. And it is what it is. But I do think that it was a bit unfair to make that statement, because if I'm bitching, then you're bitching. That's basically what I'm getting at, you know? It's just like I said, you do it better because you actually do research and you throw in facts, but you also have your opinion in there. And that's fine. I appreciate your opinion. And all I got to say is, you know, if there's a problem with how I do things, I mean, it's not going to hurt my feelings if you unsubscribe. I don't even know if you're subscribed right now. And even if you aren't, or even if you do unsubscribe, I'm going to still watch your channel because I enjoy your content. But I'm just saying that I as a friend, or if you don't consider me a friend, fine, as an acquaintance, just please take this feedback. I'm just saying from the bottom of my heart, I enjoy your content, but I do think that that was a bit unfair to just call what I did bitching. Because if that's the case, there's a whole lot of bitching going on YouTube, and I think you and I can both agree on that. And you're just as guilty of it as I am. So anyways, that's it for that topic. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is associations. And when I'm talking about associations, I'm not talking about the WBC, the WBO, the IBF. I'm not talking about those associations. I'm talking about the associations that we make here on YouTube. All right? Now, what I got to say is this. I'm not affiliated with the YTBC. I know YTBC is in my name, but I mean the literal YTBC, as in YouTube boxing community. If you're making videos and you're uploading them on YouTube, that's the YTBC that the YTBC stands for in my name. All right? As far as this YTBC with the separation from the LDBC and all that stuff, and the LDBC separation from all that, I'm not a part of any of that. I'm not a part of the segregation. I'm subscribed to channels on both ends, and I will unsubscribe once I feel that, you know, there is a agenda, or, you know, just because you push a little bit of an agenda, I'm not just gonna unsubscribe to you. But it can come to a point where it'll get to that. I mean, it just depends. Because in actuality, even I have an agenda, but it's not an agenda that's racially motivated or anything like that. So, I mean, if something kind of strikes a chord with you and it has to do with race, and you make a video about it, I'm not going to unsubscribe from you. Sometimes there's issues that arise and they need to be addressed. So, I mean, it just is what it is. But as far as me, the YTBC in my name stands for the, you know, if you're making boxing videos that are uploaded to YouTube, I don't care if you associate yourself with the LDBC, I don't care if you associate yourself with the YTBC or whatever, that's what I'm all about. But I'm not associated with these little cliques. I'm not associated with the cliques themselves. I'm associated with watching their videos, commenting on them. I'll make a response video, and if because you feel that I'm not a part of your community, that you're not even going to acknowledge me, that's cool. It's whatever. I mean, I think you think it a bit too highly of yourself, but whatever. I really don't care. As far as the people that I associate with, I mean, Precise Percenter said something that I felt was a bit uncalled for, but I don't hate him. You know, I'm not going to go out of my way to disrespect him or nothing. I mean, I'm going to continue watching his videos, and I mean, if he says we're still cool, cool. If he says we're not, well, I mean, there's nothing he could do to keep me from watching his videos. He can keep me from commenting, which I don't really comment all that often. And when I do, it's always something that is positive. So, I mean, if you're gonna disassociate yourself with me just because I associate with certain people, then that's what I'm talking about with associations. Like, ain't nobody on YouTube gonna tell me that I can't associate with somebody just because you feel some type of way about them. There's a whole lot of accusations going on about a whole lot of people on YouTube, and I don't listen to not one of them. All right? You know how many times people have told me that people are racist on both ends? I don't listen to none of that. I go by the fruits of their labor. I look at what they're talking about. I look at what's going on in their comment section. And just because somebody comments on their video and it hasn't been deleted or whatever, and see, that's the thing, on my video, and that's why I'm not even mad at Precise Presenter for what he said. I do feel it's a bit uncalled for, but at the end of the day, at the end of my video, I said feel free to leave a comment, and I've been very vocal about not censoring my comment section. So that I have to be able to take the bad with the good. You know what I'm saying? But that does also give me room to kind of talk on what's going on in my comment sections as well. I'm not gonna go and delete nobody's comment or nothing like that, but this is the way I feel about it. So all I'm gonna say is this: when it comes to the boxing communities, I'm above all that. Take that however you want, but I am above all of that. If you think you're going to tell me who I could talk to, then I guess you and me ain't talking no more. Recently, the Boxing Junkie kind of got outcasted and got labeled a racist, but nobody was calling him a racist when he was telling all the racists to stay off his channel. They was going all for it, but as soon as he said something negative about Andre Ward, a lot of people ganged up on him. And then there was people who said, hey, that ain't right. And they were actually Andre Ward fans who were sticking up for him. So I commend them. I commend H Money and Joseph Jojo for sticking up for him. But, you know, I'm not going to disassociate myself just because other people feel some type of way. All right? The only clique that I'm associating with, and we ain't about no segregation, is Come Back to Boxing. Because our clique is not even a clique, it's a movement. Now, if you don't believe in that movement, that's cool. And for those of you who want to call it a t-shirt scam, prove it to me. Show me the website. Because if we're selling t-shirts and, you know, there's got to be a website where we're taking credit card information. I work in finances. I know that you just can't pull money out of thin air. So tell me where we're going and selling t-shirts and taking money from people. I'm not getting onto, I'm just saying, you want to make accusations. Apparently something exists. But that's the only thing that I really associate with. And like I said, we ain't about that segregation. Even if you're not somebody who considers yourself part of hashtag Come Back to Boxing, we'll collab with you. So that's all I gotta say. I know I talked about a bunch of different things here, but I gotta get going. But feel free to leave a comment. I hope y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. Peace.